Greetings gamers, KWK here with another long play, and this long play we're going to be doing today is Batman for the Sega Genesis. This game came out in 1991 and is based off the 1989 Batman movie featuring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, which is an excellent movie. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. This game right here, I rented a lot as a kid, and I recently picked up a copy because I found it for a good price, so I decided, hey, let's record a long play. So, let's see how well I do from my olden days. I do remember this game being, have some challenge, so I always go in the option, and I set the amount of players to 7, which is its maximum. Trust me, you will want those 7 if you're going to get far in this game. I don't know how to put it with this game. This game is definitely not hard, but it's easy to die, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's definitely got a odd balance to it. Right here you can see that Batman's basic move is punching, very similar to the NES game. And in this title, I always was aggravated because when you look at Batman's power on the bottom there, it's got 4 bars. Now, he actually has 8 bars of health he can have if you find a health power-up. So they don't start you with full life, in my opinion. They start you with half life, and I don't know why they do that. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's kind of like you got robbed. So that's why I can guilt-free set it to 7 lives you start in this game, because they're only giving you half filled anyway. So if you divide that up, you're roughly at like 3.5 lives. So that's how many you should normally start out with in these types of games anyway. But getting away from that, it's a very basic beat-em-up side-scrolling Batman game. It's got good graphics for the time, awesome music because Sunsoft is classically known for great music in that time, and you basically have your basic moves of punching, sweeping on the ground kick, battering power-ups, and I believe there's also a featured double jump in this game. Now right here for the first boss, very basic first level, batterings are the go-to in this game. They are an awesome power-up. They definitely make a lot of boss battles extremely easy if you have enough batarangs, because they're much more difficult without them. But what I do is I usually use up all my batarangs, because I believe you start out with another set of 5 when you get to the next level, so you might as well use them up anyway on the boss. Make them easier, and then now you can see you got full health there, because I got that health power-up, so I got 8. This game is really cool in the fact that it seems to follow the movie very carefully. I mean, you got the streets like in the movie in the beginning, and then you got Axis Chemicals, which it looks very a reminder of the movie. I mean, they really definitely were fans of this movie, the developers that worked on creating this game, because they took a lot of attention to detail, in my opinion. The gameplay is, Batman's a little stiff. I mean, he's not as smooth as I'd like him to be, but he's all right. I mean, the controls are not golden by far, but they're doable. They're definitely doable. Some of the bad guys in this game, I don't know exactly where they were in the movie, like these lasers and stuff, but that's just Sunsoft for you. They'll like throw some robotic villains like they did in the NES title that was based off this movie, which is also another great game that maybe I'll have a chance to do a long play of in the future. I'll just have to practice on that one because I have yet to beat the Joker on him, so we'll see in the future. But you get very straightforward, this game. It is not many tricks to the path. It is pretty linear for the most part. The graphics are great. I enjoy the music in every level, very well done. This level is not too tricky at all. It's pretty straightforward. Probably the hardest part here in this level is when you're trying to get by, like this pipe I believe up here. It's going to start exploding, so you just gotta stay on top of it to make sure that you don't fall. Now that double jump that I did is very useful, and you'll be using that a lot in this game. One thing that I really liked about the double jump in this game is that it's actually an attack also. If you land on a bad guy in the middle of a double jump, it's actually the equivalent of like punching him. But one thing that's really odd about this game, I always thought, is that Batman does not jump kick, but the more I think about it, if you do try to do a jump kick, you would think would be like jump and attack. He actually just punches in the air, which I think looks so ridiculous. because I don't remember him punching in the air in the movie at all. But now that I think about it, in the actual movie, I do not remember Batman ever jump kicking in that movie. He was always just punching people's lights out. That's about it. Maybe because of the costume or the actor or the stuntman or whatever, there was no jump kicking with Batman. He was all just using his two guns and beating everybody up with his fists. So right here I thought was pretty cool. It's kind of a funny thing to stay with the movie. You knock Jack Napier down into the chemicals to create him to be the Joker. And then you follow straight into the museum level, and this level is another one that they just are following the movies in the order of events so well. It's so fun to really... I'd recommend with this game actually playing the movie, watching the movie first, then playing this game, and you will just have a blast. It's so fun and reminiscent of the movie to enjoy. Of course it is a video game, and they're going to add elements that the movie didn't have at all. Like, there was no chandeliers falling at Batman. There was no big He-Man guy with an axe trying to get you in the museum at all. It's kind of funny how some of the enemies that they make in this game. Whoops, and... That's another great aspect of this game. That I really like games that give you so many lives, and when you die, you just instantly appear on the screen of where you died. You don't get pushed back to a checkpoint, and you only have to be pushed back or redo a level if you run out of lives. So it's basically one of those games that help the difficulty level to be lower, because you will definitely be able to get enough lives. Like, I just picked up that extra one there, which will be handy. And if you have basically enough lives, it's pretty safe to say you'll be able to get through the level okay. Right here it does have some platforming elements, and from the platforming elements here, it's got a good challenge. I'm kind of making it look easier just because I'm okay at this game. This is not going to be a speed run or a perfect run in the least, but I can definitely get through it at least if you put the settings the way that I did. The challenge of this game really is just memorization and knowing the right place and the right time to use certain things. And the main key of this game is to just concentrate on being able to... timing, I think, is the word that I'm looking for. So right here, you want to time, and don't want to use that kind of timing. I just did. Learn from my mistake here. You'll want to time it so then you double jump on your second platform jump here, so then you can run into the guy. Well, I didn't on this one, but I will in the future ones, I'm pretty sure. I meant double jump right here you'll need, because you got to avoid that chandelier falling on you like that. A lot of good platforming challenges, and I hate to say it, the biggest challenge of the platforming is just because of the way that Batman handles. He's not as smooth. He's no Mario by far. He's just like average controls at best, but they're doable. And really the best way to compensate in this game is to concentrate on collecting as many power-ups as you can to fill up your batarangs, because if you have a good stack of batarangs, you're gonna get through a lot of things much easier. Especially the boss battles. The boss battles, pretty much their biggest weakness is the batarangs. So what my strategy is, I try to minimally use the batarangs while I'm doing a level, and I pretty much try to save up as many as I can for the boss. But in the same token, I believe if you die with a stack of batarangs, then when you reappear, you're only going to have 5 batarangs again. So keep that in mind. If you keep dying in the middle of the level, you might as well use your batarangs. Don't hoard them all, just be careful enough with them so then you have a good stack at the end. So right here I'm going to concentrate on having enough batarangs, because this boss on this level, actually it's kind of weird, there's 2. This is like a mini boss right here. I don't remember what they got this guy from. It's just some guy with a big old sword, and he's a piece of cake with batarangs by far. He's definitely a piece of cake, but without batarangs he ain't no picnic. Now right here's a little trick that I'll be doing. On this boss, you do not want him to get close enough to you to where he throws the stereo down, because if he throws the stereo down, then he becomes a lot faster and he starts trying to attack and jump at you. But if I keep throwing a batarang at him, I don't let him get close enough to me to where he can throw the stereo down and do that. And if I have enough batarangs, I can easily defeat him as I did right there. Yeah, I know it's kind of a cheap way to beat a boss, but hey, that's your payoff for saving enough batarangs. And they give you a little clip here, which is really cool. That's very close to the movie. I mean, it's very faithful to the movie, this game here. Now they add you into a driving stage. Now, I wouldn't say this is super accurate to the movie, but it's still very cool that they put it in here. Everybody wants to enjoy driving the Batmobile, I'm sure, at one point or another. The trick with this is being able to memorize everything, basically. Just because it's kind of easy to die in the driving stage if you do not strategize how you're going to shoot your missiles and your bullets. Because if you don't, you're going to run into a lot of situations where you don't have a lot of health, even though it looks like a lot. All those bars, I believe you lose them each time you get hit. At least one bar, if not two, I've noticed sometimes. And it's kind of funny when I see these villains. I remember the cars in the movie. I don't remember Joker vans, and I certainly don't remember tanks being in the movie. But I think they had to add that for a little bit more challenge for the game. Now, these types of games where they're scrolling shooters, it's kind of a little bit of a shoot 'em up taste. These are not my strong point. I'm average at best when I play games that are like this. So this was actually fairly challenging for me, even though it doesn't look that hard. Right there, I had like a full health according to that. You had 4 bars. I got 2 hits from that tank and I'm done. And now here you don't appear exactly where you died. You do have a little bit of a section where it's kind of a checkpoint and this type of level setup. So once again, that just instills that you need to be a little bit better at these types of levels in this game, because you're going to be pushed back and it's going to be more challenging. Now thankfully the homing missiles in this game are very good. They're great, but they go quick. So one shot gives you basically 2 homing missiles to shoot out at the same time, like right there. And I unfortunately got iced because it's, like I said, it's easy to die in this game. It's, like I said, it's not hard, it's just easy to die, and you're going to see that in so many different ways as we play this game. So right here we're going to get through, make sure everything looks about accurate before killing it off. Now these guys are easy, they're just one shot apiece, the cars, but the tanks are where the trouble begins. So I usually use missiles whenever I see tanks, just because you want them off the screen ASAP, because they can quickly take you out. There's really no easy way to take these tanks out other than with missiles. You can do regular shots like I'm doing here in this tank, but you have to tap very quickly because they just take a lot of hits for regular bullets. Now I try not to waste too many of the homing missiles because there's a lot of situations where you just want to make sure you have them. And once you get to a certain point in this level, I believe the boss in this level is very similar to the same strategy I do with the batarangs. You want to make sure, here he is, the boss, you want to make sure you have plenty of missiles if you can, because you have to hit it in that glowing centerpiece. And luckily, since I died and I came back, now it gave me 5 missile shots. So right there, he's done. That's all you needed was 5 missile shots for him. And you're done with the driving stage. I mean, it was just kind of a nice change of pace. They added that in there. It was pretty cool. I like the driving stage. And now, this level is probably the most annoying in the game. I can't stand this level. You got all these mimes flipping all over the place. I don't remember a lot of mimes in the movie, but I think there was a part of the movie where there were some mime clowns that were bad guys, so I'm guessing that's definitely where they derived this stage from. But this one is just because these mime clowns are such a hassle to fight, and it's got some pretty uneasy platforming. This platforming doesn't look very difficult, but like I said, the challenge is in the way Batman controls in this game. He's not smooth. So right there, we're going to have to use our first continue. Now when you use a continue, it resets your score. That's about your setback right there. Is see, now my score is 0 in the bottom left hand corner, so you know that I used a continue. But now we have enough lives to get through the stage, because I set them to 7 per continue, which is pretty mandatory for any casual or normal gamer, in my opinion, for this game. When I do long plays, I'm not particularly out to be perfect on them. I'm just showing an average gamer's attempt and abilities, and that's pretty much mine, especially a lot of the games that I play here. Every blue moon I do have a game that I have a niche for, and I'll be able to show more tips and tricks, but this is really what you can expect with at least a casual or average gamer's approach on a game that they've never played before or haven't played in a long time. And this game, I did play it a lot as a kid, and I did beat it as a kid. So that made me confident in thinking I could do well. Now right there's 3 lives, and the trick to getting those is, since I kind of lost a lot of lives, and here's a big glitch in the game, look at this, because you can't go back on the screen. How's Batman supposed to get higher? So I had to jump off, and now it's going to warp me there. But I lost so many lives doing that, I'll take the risk. Got him. There. So even though you lose a life, you gain 2. So you can use that tactic if you want. You would want to just jump off right from that point if you get to there. Now these clowns that blow the fire, I remember like clowns that were blowing fire in Batman Returns, but not in the first Batman, so I don't know where they're getting that from. But in this one, I just try to get to the right as fast as I can. I'm almost going faster than the screen's allowing, just because as soon as you get away from those guys, the sooner you can get to the boss. There, finally got out. That's just such an annoying part of this game, that level right there, but at least it's behind us now. So, I am grateful that they give you health for pretty much every boss. They don't always give you powers, but they'll at least give you a health to refill with, usually. And this guy is probably one of the most annoying to fight. He's hard to time to hit with your batarangs, and he's also pretty tricky to time jumping when he comes at you in time, like I'm doing there. But the batarangs definitely help a lot if you can hit him, but he dodges them pretty well. And if you don't hit him at the right time, like right there I hit him with the batarang, it didn't affect him because he was already swinging at me. So you got just like that one perfect chance to hit him with a batarang. And if you don't do it at that one time, you're just going to waste a batarang, which you don't want to do in this game. So he's almost done. There we go. On to the next level. We are just cruising through this game. Now this level is probably, I'm sorry, it's cool and terrible at the same time. I think it's very cool, and I understand why they did this level. They added one with the Batwing because it's faithful to the movie. He flew the Batwing to the cathedral in the movie, and they're just trying to simulate that here. But here's the big flaw of this. The car shooting level was fair because it had controls and everything was okay, but right here, it's ridiculous. When you go down, the Batwing is actually much larger, and it's a humongous target, so I'm constantly getting hit left and right here. I mean, this level is extremely difficult compared to the car one, especially for me, and I think it's because the Batwing is a much larger target, and all the enemies are really big. There's not much room on the screen, really, if you look at it. There's not much room with how they did this level. And another thing that's kind of silly about this level is that it is extremely short. This level is very short. The car level felt like it took a little bit of a while. There you can see I lost too many lives, so I'm going to have to do another continue. And on this attempt to continue, I'll definitely have enough lives to get through this level, which I really don't see how you can get by without having this many lives in this level, at least for my skill in these flight shooters. These flying shooters are just a hassle for me in this game. I mean, the Batwing handles slow and clunky when you go all the way down. It's a humongous target because it dips the whole wing down. So, I mean, there's just no advantages to having this. It shoots the same type of missiles as the Batmobile does, which is great, but in the same token, I mean, I just can't get around and avoid the obstacles that well, because this thing just handles very slow and it's very large when you turn down. So maybe there's a secret spot or a trick to this level that I'm not seeing, that maybe if you just kind of stay low to the ground, but you really can't because then these helicopters will be shooting homing missiles at you. And I'm trying to stockpile on missiles because even the missiles alone are not as much of an advantage in this level as they are in the Batmobile level. This level, ugh, something else. But right here, I will say they're very fair. I'm making the boss super easy right there. I only had to shoot him 3 times with missiles. And that, look at how short that level was compared to the car one. So we're finally at the last stage, the cathedral. And you'll notice that the bottom left-hand corner is reset to 0 on the score because I cut out my first gameplay of this because I didn't want to waste everybody's time watching me go through the cathedral and fail and have to redo it again. So I did use a continue on my first try of the cathedral, and this is actually my second attempt in it. And my second attempt is where it's at. I want to say in this game, I can't remember, there's 4 continues. So they're very fair with the amount of continues. I mean, really, in my opinion, with a game like this, you might as well give them infinite continues, but it really doesn't matter because they give you that option to give yourself 7 lives per continue, which is a nice, fair, generous way to balance things out for this game. But like I said, it just irks me so much that Batman has 8 power blocks to him, which I'm going to have now for getting a power-up, but when you start with a new life, they only give you 4 of them, so that would be like starting any game and you start with half health. I guess if you think about it, there are other games like that. When you think of The Legend of Zelda, when you die and then you start the game again, you only have 3 hearts filled. And even if you had 20 hearts, they only give you 3 hearts filled when you start from dying. But that's an RPG, so that's even a stretch to justify their logic with this. I mean, this is a platforming game. They should just give you your full health. Maybe another one I can think of is Metroid's another one where they only give you like 30 energy when you die and come back. I mean, stuff like that, I'm just not a fan of. They just give you the full health bar when you die. Now, we got an extra life, which we're going to need. Right here is a little bit of a complaint from me about this game. I am not a fan in the least when games do boss rushes, and right here that's exactly what they do. You have to beat every boss all over again, kind of like a Mega Man style, where at the end of beating all the robot masters, you then have to beat them all again in a row before you can fight Wily. They do the same thing here. You got to beat all the bosses of the game all over again, which doesn't make sense to me because I already defeated them. How are they around? They should all be dead. So we start off with the boxer again. The order is kind of screwy because we had that guy with the sword first, and he was from the museum level. He's like that, which is like the 3rd level, and this is the 1st level boss. But as you can see, I ran out of batarangs, so the advantage you get is to see my strategy of fighting him without batarangs. And really, the way you got to do this boss is you have to keep doing that double jump and hitting him, landing on him, and then turning around fast enough and then leg sweeping him. It's very hard to get a punch in on this guy, obviously, because he's a boxer, and as soon as you get close enough, this guy takes a lot of health. If he lands a punch on you, Batman can't take it right there. It's 2 health bars from a hit. 2 health bars, but we got him out of the way. In my opinion, they really should give you a heart refill between every boss, but they don't because it's a boss rush. All they did was give you the extra life, I guess. I think they feel that's fair. Now we have, this guy, and I don't have any batarangs, so this is going to be really interesting, but there we go. I'm really grateful that they give you 5 batarangs with each life, because that really helps in this game, and if you're doing really bad on a boss or a level, just utilize those batarangs if you know you're going to, die again really soon. Just throw them all, and hopefully you'll get some hits in, because they take some massive points. But now I think I finally got to try to get the timing right for this guy. I got to keep jumping just in time and then try to punch him. And I mean, that's just another hassle with this. Batman's punch, his range on that is so significantly short. It is very difficult to land hits with him, especially when you have these other bosses that have a longer range. Like this guy's swinging 2 swords. I'm just supposed to punch him. Well, I know Batman did that in the movie, but why do we gotta be dead accurate about that? You know what I mean? So, 4 more batarangs I got. Hopefully I'll use them up and get this guy squared away. Get him. There we go. Oh. Now with him behind us, we'll be in good shape. Okay, we still got 5 lives, so we're looking good here. I would say this game would be pretty difficult to do a no-death run on. I'm sure there's people with the ability to do it. if you practiced enough. But I'm not interested in playing this game that much to get that good at it. I think this is just a fun kickback, pop in the game, and you can more than likely beat it if you set yourself to have enough lives. It's just kind of an enjoyable, fun Batman game if you're into Batman games. And out of all the Batman games I've played, at least I can put them with these settings, this is probably one of the easier Batman games by far compared to other ones I played. Now you get to see this guy and how he fights, because I didn't have enough batarangs to beat him the cheap way I did before. Now, yeah, pretty much he's going to do that move and you got to walk out of the way and then punch him. And you want him to keep doing that. When he runs at you, that's when he gets a hassle. You want him to keep trying to do this belly flop move, and you got to try to time it. It's a lot of timing on these bosses, and even though I can't stand the boss rush, I think it's pretty beneficial for you viewers out there that you get to see both aspects of how you can easily defeat them with batarangs, and now that I don't have a choice, you can see the regular tactics of how to fight these bosses to get better at it. So there, we finally got him done. How many more bosses we got left after him? I think we're in good shape finally. Oh, good. Now we're in the tower. Yep, now we're actually climbing the cathedral tower, which is accurate to the movie. The part that isn't accurate is throwing guys that were throwing dynamite at Batman and dragons that were breathing fire. I don't recall that in the movie, but they have to add those little bits and pieces to make the game more challenging and add different guys to fight. The grappling hook is pretty cool in the game. You don't use it very often, and you can only do a straight up hook and then get to a platform. As far as I know, you can't diagonally shoot the grappling hook and swing side to side, kind of like a Spider-Man or anything. Not that I want to reference Marvel in a DC game here. But, oh, there's a cheap hit right there. Ugh, it's all about the timing. But now the grappling hook is, I guess they just kind of put it in there just because you're Batman and it's a cool little add-on, but there's only certain parts of every stage you'd use it here and there, and I guess it's just say consistent with the movie. Now another thing people don't realize is that you can punch and actually break those dragon heads, which is a pretty good idea to do that. These guys with the dynamite are rough, because if they hit you with a stick of dynamite right there, it's 2 bars of health is gone. So it's, 2 hits technically of dynamite and you're dead, because they only give you 4 bars from a new life in this game. So you gotta be pretty good timing on that. Right here, the tactic that I use is I try to grapple hook right in the middle of a guy, because the nice thing that I like about this game is when you land on a person, you see it's like an attack, you hit them. Now right here, there's a bomb there, so you gotta jump it. There we go. And then break the dragon head. It's got some very interesting mechanics for platforming in this game that I can't really compare this to any other game. It's very specific between having a double jump, having a grappling hook, being able to land on enemies and be able to hurt them or take them out. It's got its own style. This game definitely is a unique style of gameplay. It's not one that I particularly like a lot, but it's still a unique style. Now right here is all about timing, because I have to jump and those stones fall. And I didn't even make this. I did not even clear it. Oh man, I guess I was thinking too much. I kind of ever sit there and overthink so much of something you want to do in a game, and then if you just end up messing it up like I just did right there. That is the problem with me in games. If I overthink something that I know is going to happen in a game, I usually end up messing up or dying in the game. My best advice to do well in games is to not think at all, really. You just don't want to think, and you want to go straight and get through the game no matter what. So right here, we're going to have those dynamite guys taken out. Oh man, that is such robbery how many hit points those dynamite sticks take. And we're running low on lives, cutting it really close on making it. Now they really punish you and making sure how you can clear that. And just hit the right timing for that dragon. And got him out of the way. So now we got time jump again. Clear that. There we go. Clear that dragon head. Hit this guy. It does have the classic NES feel of respawning bad guys when you have to re-enter an area. They don't stay gone. Now let's try not to screw this up. Double jump, jump, and then you gotta hook just in time. Alright, now we don't want to fall back down because that's trouble. Ugh, got nailed there. And leg sweep. Get this guy out of the way. Ooh, those spikes. It got you ripped on that one. And yeah, even though it's a short distance, you still have to use the grappling hook in that spot. We only got one life left, so we gotta be really careful here. Time it, get that guy, alright, some health. So we can actually have a full bar of health. It's a nice change of pace. Some more health up there. All those green blocks fall. Another thing that I just did there I forgot to mention is you have that Contra jump down from a platform, which is really nice. I've loved that in games when you can just hold down and hit the jump button and then fall down a platform. That's a very good game mechanic. Now right here is really tricky because you got the guy throwing dynamite left and right, and you got this spike thing going back and forth. There, time it just right, get around it. We got enough health to get up and just make it. Now we're finally at the Joker now. Good deal. I have 0 lives and not many hit points. So he's got the big gun like in the movie, and he's fast as heck. Oof. And you have to time it just right when he puts that blue, he didn't have that in the movie, but when he has that blue like laser move on the ground, or blue fire, that's an instant death for you. So you have to dodge that every time. Oof, right there I didn't dodge it. But I got plenty of lives, so I'm just playing a little reckless because I'm excited and probably just want to beat him here. But no, you want to avoid that blue fire because it's an instant death. The gun isn't hard, but hey, there you go, batarangs. Takes him out. And just like the end of the movie, you hit him enough times, he falls off the cathedral, and he's done. So right there, that's about 30 minutes? We're talking a nice, fun, easy to pop in and enjoy 30-minute game experience. Unfortunately, I'd say back in the day, if I bought this game and you spent like $50 and I beat it the day that I bought it, I don't know about being happy about spending $50 on this game, because there isn't a lot of replay value in this game other than wanting to challenge yourself to maybe beat the whole game without using any continues or doing a no death run or something, but that isn't that isn't very interesting to me to do that. So once I'm one of those, if I beat a game, I'm kind of done, put it up on the shelf, and a significant amount of time's got to pass before I feel like playing it again, or if I ever feel like playing it again. It had to be pretty enjoyable. But regardless, that's the game. I'll let the ending run for you guys. Let me know what you think about this game and what kind of Batman games you like. Please post in the comments. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. And until next time, see you in another long play. Take it easy.